Good day and welcome back to Iran Daily Newsfeed. On Tuesday, Iranians inside the country announced thousands of petrol stations went offline starting before noon, which state-run media confirmed it happened due to a massive cyber attack. According to a news, a vast cyber attack disrupts petrol stations in Iran. Some claim the hackers have targeted online petrol distribution system near the anniversary of deadly field protests known as Bloody November, which at least 7,000 people were shot dead, thousands wounded, thousands arrested, and many sentenced to long-term imprisonment. But let's also hear from those who have a different opinion, and there are, of course, many of them. They believe the so-called anti-regime operations are led by the think tanks backed by the Islamic Republic themselves to play down popular movements and distract public opinion. Since the revolutionaries took power in Iran, the tyrants and kleptocrats have tried to control the pulses of the protests and anti-government rallies with various tricks, including setting up abstract movements and promoting and bidding individuals to lead demonstrations in a way they wish they go. Today, after 4 decades of the Islamic regime's existence, the security services have been able to keep the finger on the pulse of the uprising through exporting its agents to the West, who are currently playing significant roles in mainstream media, think tanks, academia, and foreign organizations. The exported agents are playing a special role in favor of Ayatollahs in Tehran as relief valves, not opposition figures. Jerusalem Post says the Islamic Republic has begun deploying advanced anti-aircraft missile batteries to the region, including in Syria, where Israeli jets routinely carry out airstrikes in an attempt to challenge Israel Air Force jets. Israel has carried out hundreds of strikes in Syria in an attempt to thwart Tehran's entrenchment and the smuggling of advanced weapons to Hezbollah in Syria and Lebanon, according to foreign reports, and in countries like Iraq, and even further as part of its war between wars campaign against the Islamic regime. Over the past year, while Israeli strikes have intensified in Syria, the response time by Syrian air defense batteries has become quicker. This has led to IAF changing how it acts during such operations, including by having larger formations during operations so that more targets can be struck at once instead of having jets return to the same target. In a document report, Reuters declared a 2.1 million barrel cargo of Iranian condensate. The most recent delivery from the swap pack between the Middle Eastern nation and Venezuela is expected to begin discharging on Wednesday at a PDVSA port. A document from the state-run firm showed the U.S.-sanctioned state oil companies from both countries, PDVSA and National Iranian Oil Company, last month agreed to a contract in effect for 6 months in its first phase to exchange Iranian condensate for Venezuelan heavy crude. The first cargo belonging to the swap set sail from Venezuela in September on the Iranian tanker Felicity. Tehran then supplied PDVSA with the first cargo of condensate on tanker Denga 1, which sailed back last week carrying Venezuelan crude. The second cargo of Iranian condensate arrived in Venezuela waters on Monday on Iran-flagged tanker Dorena, according to the document, which did not detail the name of the supplier. Meanwhile, on the eve of the cold season in Iran, the Islamic kleptocrats are sending fuel to their allies such as Venezuela, the butcher of Damascus, Bashar al-Assad, and terrorist groups like Hezbollah, without really putting consideration on it and caring about the people inside the country. They believe the Islamic Republic was behind the drone attack last week at the military outpost in southern Syria where American troops are based. Quoting U.S. officials, the Associated Press said Monday Washington believes that Tehran resourced and encouraged the attack, but that the drones were not launched from Iran itself. They were Islamic Republic's drone, and Ayatollahs appear to have facilitated their use, officials said, speaking on conditions of anonymity to discuss details that have not been made public. Azerbaijani media reported Baku has arrested a pro-Tehran cleric in Azerbaijan. According to the state-run media on Monday, Ahl-e-Iman Rostamov, cleric of the Haji Javad Mosque in Baku, was arrested. In recent days, at least 5 clerics who were educated in the city of Qom of Iran have been detained and interrogated by the Ministry of Intelligence of the Republic of Azerbaijan. All of them somehow are citizens of Azerbaijan and have been released after interrogation, and only a criminal case has been opened against Sardar Babayev on charges of treason. Yesterday, in honor of His Imperial Majesty Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, the Iranian monarchist of Vienna, while carrying the legitimate lion and sun flag and the images of the late Shah, have celebrated his birthday and once again depicted how loved and benevolent our Shah still and always will be. Let's take a look at the videos.
I cordially greet you, ladies and gentlemen. We are gathering here in Vienna on this day, the 100th anniversary of His Majesty's Birthday, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. We gather in Vienna, in Frankfurt, in Berlin, in Canada, in Washington, in Australia, all over the world.
درود به همه ایرانیان. امروز 4 آبان برابر با 102مین سالروز میلاد ایران پدر همایون محمد رضا شاه پهلوی شاهنشاه آریامهر هست.
درود به همه هم‌میهنان. شاد باش زادروز شاهنشاه آریامهر به همه هم‌میهنان در داخل ایران. شاهنشاه همیشه جاوید است و حضورش چراغ راه ما برای گذر از این دوران وحشت.
پهلوی شاه میهن شعار من است، به گیتی همین افتخار من است. زبان تا که در اختیار من است، همه نام ایران شعار من است.
And that was all for today. I'm Kate, and thank you for the privilege of your time.